Welcome back, one and all.
Hello.
To the cave.
Hello.
Welcome back to the cave.
We're
roasting
We're
marshmallows.
of course the Cave Boys. Yes, we are of course the Cave Boys, and we're here to talk to you once again about Zelda. Well, sort of Zelda. We're going to be touching on a few random things today, but most importantly, we thought we'd kick today's episode off with you guys, really, and that being the surprising response we got from our viewers when it comes to members. Isn't that right, boys?
Yes,
Indeed.
we have lovely members now. They're all amazing people. We'll talk about all of them in detail. No, we won't.
Yes,
Are as follows.
docs every single one of them.
Their names and their addresses are here. I have them in a list. Right, okay, so thank you to...
Yeah, but Ed,
Yes?
how many? Well, how many members do we have?
We have 6 whole members. 6.
Six.
That's
That is
awesome.
insane. That is nuts.
Well, from the time of recording, of course. I mean, obviously, we'll have 233 by the time this video goes live on Sunday.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah,
So-
okay, of course, yeah.
I'm going to go through all the people's names. Big thank you to all of you. Legend of Mads, Sheikah Cake, Xenodorf, a fan of Zelda, aren't we all? Snow Elf, and finally, but definitely not least, because they were the first member, Katala the Great.
Yes,
Indeed.
the one and only. Now, we have said that we are going to, well, you know, we're gonna hop on a call after this recording, and we're gonna organise what it is that we'll be doing for you wonderful people who've decided to become members, and in particular, yes, what we are going to do to commemorate the very first member. We're gonna try and think of something cool, aren't we, boys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely think of something
There,
nice.
there will be cool shenanigans coming.
But Ed, talk to me. Zelda notes. What's happening?
Zelda Notes. Zelda Notes is the app that they revealed during the... It's not even an app, it's part of the Switch 2 app. The Nintendo Switch app, but they keep renaming the thing. But it's part of that app that it connects to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's weirdly hard to actually, put into words what it does. But basically, it connects to your game. It gives you some cool details, how many enemies you've defeated and all of that sort of cool stuff. But most importantly for us as creators, I'd say, personally, is the voice memories, which basically give us, I think it's 150, there's 150 voice memories in Tears of the Kingdom. Specifically, so
How long are these? How long on average are these voice memories? Do we know?
We don't know how long on average, but I did send Adam one that I saw on Twitter last night. I think it was on the Nintendo Today app, because for some reason Nintendo they're doing so many apps at the minute, and that one was about 20 seconds long or something like that.
Yeah, I think most of the ones they've shown off on the demonstrations are all anywhere from 15 to maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah.
No longer than a minute.
Okay.
They seem to be.
Yeah, so these aren't 45 minutes
tirades.
PhD level
They're little
lectures.
snippets that add to the world and develop little things.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me drop this into the chat for you, Johnny.
See, I was hoping that I could go back to find Cass, only to find that he will sit me down for 2 hours and talk to me about quantum physics. But apparently, you can't have everything apparently. But here we go. Oh,
Yeah,
is this
have a little gander at that. We'll probably stick
Right.
this somewhere in the video as well.
You have reached your destination. Guidance deactivating.
There are several ancient texts and works of literature that speak of the Temple of Time by name, but all of them describe a structure that differs in design from the one we see today. Hyrule's history is long, and this discrepancy is one of the unsolved mysteries of our land.
this is the Temple of Time with the dumpy cream egg statue. So yeah, okay, interesting. So, what do you think though? Could be a big, do you think we'll get any big revelations from these notes, or do you think that it is just very subtle, very understated,
Right.
Adornments to the general lore, or do you think that they will? Do you think that they will scatter in some real truth bombs or groundbreaking revelations in there?
Thing is, personally, I think that if we're going to get anything from Zelda Notes, I don't think every single one of them is going to be a banger. I think the interesting thing about the Temple of Time one is the fact that they specifically say this discrepancy is one of the unsolved mysteries of our land. But obviously, it's just the Tears of the Kingdom Temple of Time is different from this Temple of Time. That's all it refers to. But the thing that I like is that it asks the question. And that is enough of a spark for some creators to go and actually have a look. Go and really think about, what could happen with that? And sure, let's be honest, knowing Tears of the Kingdom in particular, there won't always be an answer.
And so are these Zelda notes dropping day one of Switch 2 then?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
I believe
Okay,
the
so,
app's actually already set up and everything for them.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Well, yeah. So do, viewers at home, do prepare yourselves for an enormous influx in the best Zelda notes. The top 10 most crazy Zelda notes. Explained. All 265 million Zelda notes explained. Gone wrong. In the hood. Yeah, it's, no, but I'm looking forward to, it is great. No, it is. It's nice to have an extra bit of fuel. This is the thing, right? Because obviously, on the last 2 videos on my channel have been biting, I think would be a kind way of putting it. A lot of people seem to be under the... I did make it clear in the second video. A lot of people seem to think that I really hate Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That isn't the case. You can think... I can enjoy it as a game and not think not consider it to be legitimate Zelda, or... Yeah, I can think it's a good game and not a good Zelda game. Those two things can exist at once. But yeah, I just wanted to get that straight. So yeah,
of course.
Seeing these Zelda notes, I'm hoping for something that justifies their advent. I'm hoping there is at least one. I hope within all because you said there's 150 in Tears of the Kingdom.
There's 150 in Tears of the Kingdom only, so there'll be even more in Breath of the Wild. Maybe not. There'll be about.
Do you think
100.
there'll be more or less than that?
I think there'll be about 100
so,
in Breath of the Wild. I don't think they'll put the burners on so far. But I will say as well, another interesting point is that Zelda's not the only one voicing these voice memories. King Rauru and, weirdly enough, Master Kogoro. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious, at least to me, that King Rauru would be voice memories in the sky, which is interesting, right? Voice memories in the sky. How much do we know about the Sky Islands? Not much.
To be honest, I don't really know what they're going to do, though, because the reason we don't know so much is because they didn't put very much for us to even think about. A lot of the copy and paste stuff. So I'm kind of curious about if they're going to try and develop those sort of islands, like all the little copy and paste ones that no one really cares about, or what if they're only going to be really based on the bigger islands like Dragon Head, the Great Sky Islands, and all the bigger ones. That's what I'm curious about, because I feel like they didn't leave much in the sky to even begin a discussion, so I'm curious. I'm hopeful that they're going to make it more interesting with them, but I'm very wary about it just because of how lackluster the islands actually were.
And another obviously interesting one is Master Koga in the Depths.
Yeah.
Is Master Koga going to give us lore revelations on the Depths?
Yeah, we cast him down there in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And he's been living down there since, but the question is has he been living down there out of choice? Or could he not escape because he's become so rotund he just simply couldn't exit through one of the...
I remember in Tears of the Kingdom, we do learn a little detail that part of his, his arc down there is because of his Ganon worshipping. So maybe we'll learn a little bit more about how that came about.
Yeah.
How the ties to all the underground shit going on with Ganondorf, Ganon, how that ties into Master Koga. Maybe it'll develop that side of it a little bit more, because they were very vague on that in-game.
Yeah, the thing is, this is the thing, right? Because if they're going to put a load of these voice memories in the depths, when it comes to the surface, the ground, I think we do know a lot about this version of Hyrule, realistically. We know a surprising amount, and it's mostly because of Breath of the Wild. But then when it comes to the depths, we got barely anything. So I think it's a very interesting discussion that even if all of the stuff in the overworld is stuff that we mostly already know, the depths will be a lot easier to give us new stuff that we do not know about. But then you also have Master Koga who's voicing it, and will he just be silly the entire time? I don't know. Honestly, the voice memories could go one of 3 ways. It could go, everyone loves them and they actually really add to the lore, and you see a whole new offspring of big theory videos. Or there's the other way where it comes out, everyone checks out and goes, well, that was shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think that and this is coming from someone who gave up on the Soulsborne series for his own sanity a long time ago. it seems like an answer to the Soulsborne series, though. You know, I remember when I used to play Dark Souls and whatnot. Like each piece of armor, each weapon, items and whatnot would come with little pieces of information that might not be, there might not be grand revelations, but each of them plays to, weave a much larger, grander tapestry. I think it plays a bit like that, really.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, the vast majority of these things won't be, they won't be mind blowing. But part of me is hoping that there is just I think maybe just one of them out of the 250.
Yeah, it's probably 250. Yeah.
Just one of them. They sprinkled one really crazy nutso thing in there, and just hoping that they're waiting for the fans to find it.
Yeah, I think if there is anything, it at least shows us that they wanted us to find something, even if it's a small thing that we can make a theory out of. And I would really appreciate that at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how they develop these games whenever they've added DLC or little things. They add things specifically to get you exploring the world. They want you, that's the only way they can keep these two games going. And surely this is the last thing they're going to add to the game. I can't see what else they'd add to add more, because it's the same world. It's already ruined and rebuilding. How much is there actually going to be? That's the sort of thing playing in my mind. But yeah, I think there'll be a few really big things sprinkled around.
Now, boys, I like to play devil's advocate sometimes.
Of course, yes.
And
sometimes.
So I've been thinking, okay, what is Nintendo's incentive for doing this? Because like you pointed out in earlier videos, Ed, you were sort of saying they didn't need to. Why? Yeah. Almost it seems like quite a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
At such a late date, but then now, hear me out. Do you think? This is just a theory, a game theory, but I'm thinking the reason they've done this, and give me your thoughts on this, I think the reason that Nintendo have done Zelda Notes is not necessarily to enhance Zelda or your second or third or whatever playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild. I think that they're doing it to incentivize people to replay it, but to incentivize people to install the app, because from the app you can then is this the My Nintendo app, or is this
it's
a separate app?
It's like, God, it used to be called
the Switch Online.
Yeah, it used to be called the Switch Online app. Yeah.
So and from there they can also promote other Switch. It's essentially what I'm getting at is they want you to install the app because it's basically another way to advertise to you, and the new consoles come in. If you can get people, in the same way that all companies want your emails, if you've got the app, hey, I mean, what a great way, you've got, you're in the pocket of all the people you want to advertise to. I don't know, maybe that's a cynical take, but I think it's just Nintendo trying to get more of your attention, basically, not necessarily giving more attention to Zelda, if that makes any sense.
I could see it being a sort of win-win for them, as in they do want to add it, but they get the benefit
of course.
Having your attention without it feeling invasive. I feel like it might be a bit of a win-win for them.
Yeah, I think, this is very obvious. It's the main drawback of Zelda Notes. The fact that you have to have it on your phone. Why couldn't it have just been a thing in the game?
Yeah.
Exactly,
if you've already recorded the voice notes, which is literally would have, probably, knowing Nintendo, they were just recorded on a fucking phone, in each of the voice actors' apartments. Just when you're given the voice note, just go and drop it wherever it says on the map on your phone. Just go and drop it in the game. Maybe it's not as simple as that, though. Maybe I'm way oversimplifying, because I definitely could be. It is by far the biggest complaint that I've seen for the whole thing, but overall I think it's very interesting, and it is very interesting they'd add so much. If it was just 50 of them in Tears of the Kingdom alone, I'd be like, that's a lot. 150 is nuts.
Could they hang on? Is it possible that they are just... well, no, I guess not. I was going to say, is it possible for them to just be basically outtakes from the original,
I'd say, I was thinking something along those lines, but what I was going to say is maybe this is, I guess, cut content, depending on how heavy they go into actual lore details and stuff. Maybe this is things they originally wanted, in the story, so to say. But now they're just finding other ways to add it on, especially since they've realised what fans think of the story, which is not particularly positive.
Yeah, because I mean, Breath of the Wild, everyone, I must say everyone, but a lot of people, some people took issue with gameplay. At the time, when it released, it wasn't as many as there is now. But then, of course, the main thing that people did end up loving was environmental lore. The world, the story building. I said it in like a video not long ago to you boys, but it's you see burned down ruin, fire was rub over there, well, cool. And it's like, I don't know, this is it's an outspoken way of giving us more lore if that's what it's doing.
Also, let's not forget that although Zelda Notes is a new thing, I mean, peripherals when it comes to Nintendo games and even Zelda games isn't a new thing. I mean, Nintendo love quirky, unusual peripherals when it comes to play. I mean, like Tingle Tuner, obviously using the Game Boy
classic
for a handful of games. Yeah, they do, and then obviously things like the Wii U as well. Yeah, with the Wii U pad.
They love a gimmick.
They do. They love a gimmick, and sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't quite.
Oh, mate, Nintendo Labo.
Oh yeah. The fucking cardboard accessory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awful.
Oh.
Also, they did it VR. They did VR.
Yeah, they did
do you remember
VR
that?
with.
We do apologise. We are currently having some technical issues here in the cave. It's this time it's not Adam and his Scottish potato. It is this time it is Ed. Yes, Ed has somehow fried his microphone or something, and so we will be back to your regular scheduled program very shortly.
Oh, it's working. It's working. I'm there.
And we're back.
Hey.
We're back. Welcome back to the Cave Boys. We do apologise about those technical difficulties. Ed profusely apologises about those technical difficulties.
I'm sorry.
He's been drooling on his microphone again.
It happens at the time.
Like a true cave boy. Be honest, did either of you boys purchase any Nintendo cardboard?
I
did not. You know what though? When I got my Tears of the Kingdom Switch, it did come with cardboard. So does that count?
That doesn't quite count. No. That's acceptable, but that is a very common Cave Boy W there.
Oh, thank you.
No cardboard was purchased for the cave. We only accept rock. We are Neanderthals after all.
Very true.
Yeah, they do love a gimmick, no matter what. It's like in their DNA that they have to have a gimmick. Even the camera with the Switch 2, right?
Even if those gimmicks will get children bullied at school, they go ahead with it anyway. I mean, if you were walking around school with Labo in your hand, I know what would happen to me if I was in school doing that. I'm just saying, Nintendo have a knack for this.
But which is worse, being a Fortnite default skin or having Labo?
I feel like the Venn diagram of people who have default Fortnite skins and people who own Labo. I feel like that Venn diagram probably crosses over quite heavily. But yeah, I mean, Adam says he knows what had happened to him if he saw a kid at school,
especially
with Labo.
in a British school.
I know what I'd do to a kid if I saw them carrying Labo.
It's getting worse and worse.
No, in this example, I would also be a kid, of course. Like I do not condone walking as an adult.
This isn't the next video idea.
Kicking the shit out of a kid. For legal reasons, this whole video is a joke.
I guess the other thing that's coming up outside of Zelda Notes is Wind Waker on Switch 2. There's not really much to go into, of course. Just that
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, you have heard of that. I think you might even have a poster somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's currently off camera, but and also I do get the odd comment asking me where I got those from.
Okay.
I upscaled the images on Photoshop and I just printed them off myself. If Nintendo weren't as litigious as they were, I might facilitate those things. But since they are, I'm just gonna keep it to myself for now. I'm afraid, because I don't want to end up in one of Shigeru Miyamoto's gulags. So sorry, guys. I'm just gonna be bogarting the posters for now. My apologies.
Yeah, no, Wind Waker on Switch 2, it's kind of cool. Let's be honest,
very cool.
we all want more Zelda games to play on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's nice to have as many as possible on a console, and the Switch 2 is going to be launching with like one of the most robust lineups of Zelda games just from the off.
There's the enhanced Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom as well. I was saying the other day, I'm actually a little bit motivated to play Tears of the Kingdom again because of the enhanced version, to sort of get an idea of like what I think of the game since it came out. Because in all honesty, I've not played it fully since it came out. I've only went on for footage, so I think it'd be interesting to see what I think of the game now, actually playing it start to finish, now that there's been a little bit, of time.
We'll have to do a follow-up on that. Adam's thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom after you've refinished it. Barring that, though, that's all of the stuff that is coming up. Switch 2's coming up. A lot of people who are watching this, not everyone, of course, will have been playing on their Switch 2, enjoying Mario Kart World, all of that good stuff. So, I think, unless... Do you boys have anything to add before we close up?
Yeah, just before we close off, actually, don't forget that should you want to support us here on this channel, you can do so by becoming a member, like the 6 wonderful people that we mentioned earlier, and also super thanks. This is a thing. This is a thing. And someone, Edward, am I right in saying someone has also sent us a super chat?
Yes, Senor Divine Beast, I believe their name is.
Senor Divine Beast.
They're actually a part
and
of
what
my
does
Discord.
Senor Divine Beast say?
They sent in $2. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And what did they send a message, or was it just $2?
Yeah, they sent a big message about...
It was just an envelope.
Yeah, it's just an envelope. They sent a big message about what happened in that video. No, that's the Copium video, of course. I think he was just talking about just Tears of the Kingdom's openness versus what they'd want in the next Zelda game. So, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Super thanks, not super chat.
Yes, thank you. And yes, thank you for the super thanks, Mr. Senor Divine Beast. And yeah, like I say, if you would be as kind to do so as well, you can do so with the is it the link? The link's down below. Or how do you do it? Is there a
Super
button?
thanks.
There is a button.
There's a button.
There
Yes.
is a button.
There's a button.
There's a
Press
button.
the button.
Press
that button.
Press it.
Give us money.
Press the button. Yes. No. Thank you once again for joining us here in the cave, where we have been talking about many things, haven't we, boys? Many things.
Of course, many things.
Yes. Be sure to join us in the next video, where we'll be probably reflecting upon you, actually, the fans. I think we'll do a slightly more introspective video, like we've been planning. And yeah, until then, do take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all very soon.
See you all very soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a good week.
Adios.
Have a good
Cheerio.
week.